For Doc Martens' 60th anniversary, they have been remastering the 1460 with different designers every month. This is the May 2020 60th anniversary remastered that they did with Undercover. This is also the first made in England for the 60th anniversary that they've done, and they are absolutely stunning. First, what screams to me is actually the form. So the form and the last that's used to create the shape of this boot is amazing. So if you notice, it's quite different than we see on a lot of other, even made in England Doc Martens. The form for me is very reminiscent of the astronaut in the 70s, as well as other collaborations like the Hemingways from the early 80s. It feels amazing. They are corduroy, and what seems to be vinyl or leather interior. At least it seems to be vinyl for me. The sole density on them is pretty modern. Same density or very similar density as you would get in the Made in Asias. And the corduroy thickness is a little bit thicker than other pairs of Doc Marten corduroys that I have, but I would say it's on the medium thickness side. I remember wearing corduroys a lot in the 90s, and probably with Doc Martens back then as well. And these aren't the chunky cord, but they're not the standard cord. I would say other Doc Martens that I have are more the standard cord, and they're a lot finer. The eyelets are black, pretty standard. And the inside has this beautiful insole with the flowers. Now, a lot of people thought that these flowers were actually going to be part of the exterior of the shoe. And by a lot of people, I mean myself included, and other people that are fans that I know. It was part of the teaser at first, so it seemed like it was going to happen. And then when they went ahead and had this blackout pair, well, not completely blackout, but they had this black pair, people were kind of surprised. Now, with all of the limited releases, again, just like April's, March, February's, and January's, these are all limited to 1,460 pairs made. And each of them have some bit of DNA that is visible from the collaborator, which makes it special and unique. And on these, we have something that Undercover has used in the past, which is an S and an N. So there's an S past the toe cap, closer to the eyelets, and an N. And for Undercover, it stands for spiritual noise. It is black on black. It is not as noticeable as you'd think until you want to notice it. Now, personally, if it was me, I would have sided with perhaps doing a star, and this is if I made them because I like stars, or maybe the logo of the company. But I didn't make this. This is a collaboration piece. This is another company, another designer, adding their piece, adding their label, adding their mark on these shoes, and I couldn't be happier. Especially that it's black on black, because it's subtle enough where we don't really notice it unless we want to notice it, like I said, but then we have some kind of detail and something to distinguish that these aren't just black corduroy, made in England Doc Martens, which, why would we want that as being a limited 60th anniversary? What is special about that? They can go ahead at any point in time and release a black cord, and that's what separates it. Turns a lot of people off, and I understand. It's all about where your palate is, and this may sound a little bit pretentious, but what the vast broad spectrum of your perspective, what you've been exposed to, really helps us open up to different visual aesthetics that are a little bit outside of the standard for us. Did that come out pretentious? I don't know. I feel it's a little bit pretentious. Mostly because it's about privilege, and some people just don't have that privilege. But it's not anything that I hold against anybody. You're entitled to your own preference, and I love the S and the N. I think that it was a great choice. Again, it wasn't my choice. It wouldn't have been my choice, but I think they nailed it. So, Doc Marten 60th anniversary collaboration with Undercover. Excited to see what's next. If I had to place my money, I would say that there's a pair of needles coming, but that's just, based on the trend of how they've been working with different Japanese designers and where it's gone in the past. So we'll see what happens. So, Undercovers.